Few names in boxing evoke both glory and tragedy as powerfully as Raymond Michael Boom Boom Mancini. To many fans, he is not just a former world lightweight champion, but also a symbol of determination, resilience, and humanity in a sport often criticized for its brutality. As of now, Mancini's estimated net worth stands at around $5 million. His financial foundation stems from multiple avenues. His exhilarating professional boxing career, television and movie appearances, ventures in wine production, motivational speaking, and a legacy of public appearances that keep his name alive in American sports culture. Mancini's financial worth, though significant, is overshadowed by the richness of his emotional and cultural legacy. He is remembered not only for his explosive knockouts and relentless pace inside the ring, but also for his vulnerability outside of it, especially after the tragic 1982 bout with Duk-Koo Kim. Today, his wealth represents far more than numbers. It stands as a measure of survival, adaptation, and resilience in life after boxing. Early life. Ray Mancini was born on March 4, 1961, in Youngstown, Ohio, a steel city with working-class grit that shaped his character and determination. His roots in boxing were not accidental. His father, Lenny Boom Boom Mancini, had been a promising lightweight contender in the 1940s. Lenny's career was tragically interrupted by World War II, where a serious shoulder wound dashed his championship aspirations. He never became world champion, but he instilled in Ray the dream of finishing what he could not. Ray was the youngest child in his family. His older brother, Lenny Jr., played a profound role in his life, but tragically died in 1981 from an accidental gunshot wound, a devastating blow that deeply scarred Ray during the peak of his career. The Mancini household was close-knit, deeply Catholic, and rooted in traditional Italian-American values: loyalty, hard work, and family above all. At Cardinal Mooney High School, Ray shined not only as an athlete, but as a leader. He became president of his senior class, excelling in both academics and sports. Mancini's natural athleticism earned him a scholarship offer from Xavier University, where he could have pursued higher education. He was also scouted in baseball, with the Toronto Blue Jays showing interest, and he could have played college football as well. But destiny had already chosen its path. Ray turned down those opportunities, insisting that he would become a professional boxer, honoring his father's unfulfilled legacy. Youngstown locals, who had watched the elder Mancini's promising career slip away, embraced the son as their new hope. Personal life. Despite his tough, warrior image, Ray Mancini has always been a deeply emotional and family-oriented man. He has been married twice. With his second wife, Tina Razi, he found lasting stability. The couple returned to Youngstown in 2014 after decades of living in California. This move home was not just geographical, it was spiritual, reconnecting Mancini with the very community that had molded him. Ray is the father of 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. He often speaks about how fatherhood changed him, giving him a perspective beyond boxing and allowing him to process the trauma of his career with greater peace. A devout Catholic by upbringing, Mancini's faith has remained a guiding force throughout his life. While he rarely preaches publicly, he frequently references spirituality and gratitude when discussing his journey, particularly when speaking of tragedy and redemption. Outside of the ring, Mancini has led a remarkably diverse life. He ventured into Hollywood, appearing in films like Time Bomb, 1991, The Ring of Fire, 1991, and producing projects like The Good Son, a documentary about his career and the fateful fight with Kim. He has also worked as a commentator, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur, launching a wine label, Southpaw, that reflects his Italian heritage and love for storytelling. One of his deepest commitments is mental health advocacy. Having watched depression and anxiety affect his own family, Mancini now tours the country delivering motivational talks under programs such as Battling the Opponent Within You. For him, fighting inner battles is just as important as the ones in the ring. Professional career. Amateur rise. Mancini's amateur record was stellar. 43 wins and only 7 losses. His style was modeled after his father's: high pressure, relentless, and devastating to opponents who could not withstand the pace. By the late 1970s, he was ready to make the leap to professional boxing, turning professional. On October 18, 1979, at age 18, Mancini debuted as a professional, knocking out Phil Bowen in the first round. His aggressive style earned him the nickname Boom Boom, inherited from his father, but now brought to life in explosive fashion. In just 18 months, Mancini was fighting on national television. He captured the Ohio State lightweight title in April 1980 and the NAF lightweight championship in 1981, setting the stage for a world title shot. The Arguello fight, 1981. In October 1981, Mancini challenged Alexis Arguello for the WBC lightweight title. It was a baptism by fire. Mancini started strong, showing youth and determination, but Arguello's experience and composure carried him to victory in the 14th round. Despite the loss, Mancini stock soared. He was seen as the next great American champion. World champion, 1982. On May 8, 1982, Mancini fought Arturo Frias for the WBA lightweight title. The fight lasted just 2 minutes and 54 seconds, but was unforgettable. Frias rocked Mancini early, but Ray unleashed a furious counterattack, knocking Frias out and winning the world title. At last, the dream his father had once pursued was fulfilled through his son. Defenses and triumphs. Mancini defended his belt against formidable opponents, including Ernesto España and Bobby Chacon. His popularity skyrocketed. He was not only a fighter, but also a cultural figure, appearing in magazines, television shows, and even inspiring a song by Warren Zevon called Boom Boom Mancini. The Kim tragedy, 1982. On November 13, 1982, Mancini fought Duk-Koo Kim in Las Vegas. The bout was brutal, stretching into the 14th round before Mancini scored a TKO. Minutes later, Kim collapsed. He never recovered and died from brain injuries 4 days later. The tragedy shook the boxing world. Kim's mother and the fight referee later died by suicide, compounding the sorrow. The incident forced the sport to change. Title fights were reduced from 15 to 12 rounds, medical supervision was heightened, and safety protocols became stricter. For Mancini, the weight was unbearable. Though not his fault, he carried the guilt for years, attending Kim's funeral in South Korea and publicly grieving. That fight defined him not just as a boxer, but as a man confronted with the darkest side of his profession: decline and retirement. Mancini lost his title in 1984 to Livingstone Bramble, and their rematch in 1985 confirmed his decline. Though he attempted comebacks in 1989, losing to Hector Camacho, and 1992, losing to Greg Haugen, his career ended officially with a record of 29 wins, 5 losses, and 23 knockouts. Despite the early retirement, Mancini's career was extraordinary for its brevity. He became the face of American boxing in the early 80s, bridging the sport's golden era with its modern reforms. House tour and car collection. Unlike many athletes who flaunt mansions and luxury cars, Ray Mancini has lived modestly. He spent nearly 3 decades in Santa Monica, California, enjoying a life connected to film and media. In 2014, he returned to Youngstown, Ohio, moving into a spacious yet humble home that reflects his values: comfort, tradition, and family gatherings rather than opulence. His home often hosts charity events, dinners, and small community gatherings. Mancini has described it not as a palace, but as a sanctuary, a place where he reconnects with his roots and reflects on the journey from boxing stardom to peace. While Ray owns a few luxury cars, his collection is not widely publicized. Unlike many sports celebrities, he has never been obsessed with flashy displays of wealth. His true collection lies in memorabilia: gloves, belts, robes, and photographs that tell the story of a career that touched millions. College career. Ray Mancini's college career is a story of what might have been. Though he was offered a scholarship to Xavier University and opportunities in both baseball and football, he declined them all. For Ray, boxing was not merely a sport. It was destiny, a family mission. Thus, Mancini never attended college in the traditional sense. Instead, his university became the boxing gyms of New York, the streets of Youngstown, and the brutal ring battles that shaped his legacy. As of today, Ray Mancini is alive. At 64 years old, he continues to live in Youngstown with his wife Tina Razi, engaging in community service, motivational speaking, and business ventures. No cause of death applies, though his legacy has often been marked by his confrontation with death inside the ring. Mancini's life itself is a meditation on survival, living on after tragedy, learning to forgive oneself, and finding peace. Ray Boom Boom Mancini is more than his record, more than the belts he won or lost. He represents a uniquely human story, one of dreams carried from father to son, one of triumph overshadowed by tragedy, and one of redemption found in family, faith, and community. He became a world champion, carried the burden of a man's death, and then redefined himself as an actor, entrepreneur, and advocate. Today, Mancini's net worth may be measured in millions, but his true wealth lies in the lessons he shares. That pain can be transformed into purpose, that glory fades but character endures, and that every fighter, whether in a ring or in life, must one day face the opponent within.